How's everybody today? Good. Well, it was a beautiful day today, and we certainly was happy to see some good weather for us to go out there and practice in, and I think the players responded, and we probably had one of our better practices of the spring. You know, it's been a work in progress to, especially on offense with so many experienced guys and losing so many experienced players, that it's created a lot of opportunity for a lot of young guys. We like the way they're working and improving and responding to that, but obviously the only way we're going to get experience is for those guys to be able to play. But I do think the offensive line has, you know, sort of come together pretty nicely, and you know, Jake seems to be pretty comfortable with the quarterback position, as has all the other guys getting an equal opportunity at that job. And, you know, the receivers, it was obviously, you know, I know that Cam Sims was injured on Saturday and got an ACL, and it's going to be out for a while and definitely needs surgery, and it'll be, you know, a lot of hard work for him to get back at all for next season, but we're hopeful, and we know what kind of person he is, and he'll work hard to do it. You know, defensively, we have a lot more players coming back, so the defense has done a pretty good job. I like the energy and enthusiasm that they've played with, and some of the things that we didn't do last year that we're making improvement on, so we'll continue to do that. You know, I'm sure that everybody got the statement from yesterday on Jonathan Taylor's dismissal from the team. I think it's very unfortunate. But, you know, the guy came here with some very specific guidelines and zero tolerance, and, you know, obviously didn't live up to that. And while we've created many opportunities for players through the years, and sometimes those things have worked out extremely well, and we're sad to say in this case that, you know, it didn't, and we all take responsibility for that. We have a good program here at Alabama, and we have a lot of good players who have done a lot of good things in this community on our team and how they've represented the university, and I feel like we have a lot of people here who have positively impacted players. And though I'm very, very sorry about the way this, you know, worked out, we're going to continue in the future to create opportunities for people that we feel, you know, have the right stuff, and obviously, it's not always going to work out, but we're also going to stay focused on all the good things that we've done in the past, and how that has helped our players in the past have a better chance to be successful in life. A little disappointed in Geno Smith, and, you know, when he does a few things that he needs to do over the next few days, and he's going to have quite a bit of things that he has to do in the future, which I'm not going to be willing to share with anybody. It's kind of a private matter. Then he'll be back on the field, and we'll allow him to practice again. But our focus right now is to try to help Geno in every way that we can, do things that we need to do so he can be a productive person, a productive student, and a productive player. He's always been a good student, and he's always done a good job, and he's always been a good competitor on our team, and has always set a pretty good example in terms of how he's played. From an injury standpoint, other than Cam Sims, we really don't have anything else to report, and we'll certainly got a long way to go. I think we made a lot of progress. We've got one more practice before we scrimmage on Friday. I hope we can clean a lot of things up, and it'll be interesting to see how guys go out there and respond to, you know, a scrimmage type environment where they have to be responsible to make the adjustments and be able to compete and play the next play. You know, we spent a lot of time trying to create an identity with this team in the off season, something that I was a little disappointed in the way we finished last year. In terms of the kind of relentless competitive attitude we have, the discipline we have to execute and do the things that we need to do to have the mental toughness, no matter what the circumstance is, to be, you know, the best that we can be, to take care of the ball, to get turnovers. We just, you know, we've got a lot of things that we need to do this spring to reestablish the identity that we want to have as a football team. I didn't hear what you asked.
arrest change your stance on recruiting players who've been arrested for domestic violence?
Well, you know, I think you learn from every experience, and we certainly learned some things from this one. You know, I certainly don't condone, you know, that kind of behavior, especially when it comes to how females are treated, and that's something that we try to create a lot of awareness for with our players. And, you know, we would certainly be very cautious about any player that had any character problem, but especially something like this would be something that we would be very careful about, you know, in the future. But I will say this, you know, we will continue to try to create opportunities for players and try to help them be successful. And even in Jonathan Taylor's case, if there's anything that we can do to help him overcome his issues and problems, we'll certainly try to help him be successful. But right now, you know, the guy just cannot be on our football team.
When you kind of re-examine the thought process, the decision-making process, and the vetting process, do you feel like you made a mistake in offering Jonathan Taylor another chance here?
No, I'm not sorry for giving him an opportunity. I'm sorry for the way things worked out. I'm not apologizing for the opportunity that we gave him. You know, I wanted to try to help the guy make it work. It didn't work. So, you know, we're sorry that it didn't work, and we're sorry that there was an incident, and we're sorry for the people that were involved in the incident. But we're not apologizing for what we did, and we're going to continue to create opportunities for people in the future. And we'll very, very closely evaluate anyone's character that we allow in the program, because we all have a responsibility to represent the University of Alabama in a first-class way, not to say how we should represent ourselves and our family.
Do you think his situation could have any effect on admission requirements or requirements for your program in terms of who you would let in moving forward?
Well, you know, I think as an institution, we would always, you know, really look at how we did things in the future. I think you learn from every situation. We certainly learned from this situation, and I think our administration has as well. So we'll be very cautious about how we go about any guy that has any kind of issues in his past. But, you know, I'd like to stay and emphasize the many, many players who have had problems in the past that have been a part of our program, who have turned out to be outstanding people, have represented the institution very well, have graduated from the university, have changed their legacy in their life because they were involved in the program. And I don't want to overlook, you know, some of those positive things that we've been able to do as an institution together by the programs that we've created here that have helped players overcome adversity and have a chance to be successful.
Just where you talked about the second chance and the things that you required, what were the specific things you required of Jonathan Taylor to earn this spot, and how do you think he was doing?
Well, he did everything we asked him to do here. You know, he had a lot of psychological profiling. He had a lot of psychological counseling. He never missed a session. He did everything he was supposed to do. So, you know, we're sorry that there was an incident, and, you know, we've levied the consequences, and I think that's all there is to talk about when it comes to that. We have 125 other players on our team who are doing really well, and there's really nothing else to talk about. Jonathan Taylor came here. We gave him an opportunity. It didn't work out. He failed. We're sorry. It's time to move on.
What was the vetting process, and who did you talk to in that, and what did you learn in that vetting process with him?
I don't know what the question is.
What was the vetting process like with him beforehand, and who all did you speak to, and what did you learn from that?
You know, I'm not really going to answer all those questions. I spoke to everybody that we could have that had an opportunity to give us some idea of what kind of young man that Jonathan Taylor was, and you know, and is. And, you know, I still think he's a good person. I think he has a problem and a circumstance and a situation that is not acceptable, and that is his problem. And he has been, you know, certainly dealt with relative to this problem. So I'm going to say it one more time. I don't know what else that we need to talk about here.
With Gino, was there any consideration to dismissing him and just considering this is the second situation for him with the DUI? How much more discipline?
No, you know, we have a drug and alcohol policy here, and we have circumstances that a guy has to go through. Again, you know, I guess that, you know, discipline is punishment. I've always viewed my position as a coach to help young people have a better chance to be successful as you would your own children in your own home. I don't know if you have any children, but you don't throw them out with the bathwater every time they do something wrong. All right, this is a second for him. There is a series of things that he has to do internally, which will be inpatient and outpatient to help him get better. We have a series of counseling things that we're going to do to try to help him with psychological disposition so he can be more positive and not need to do things like this. All right, so we're trying to help the person. All right, and when we feel like we've helped him enough that he can get back on the field, then we'll do that. But I had no consideration because I've never gotten rid of a guy on a second incident when it comes to drugs and alcohol. You don't know about the drug issues because it's not your, you know, we don't release any of that. All right, so we have guys going through this program all the time, and we're trying to help them, and we've been successful at helping a lot of these players. All right, and rather than try to condemn Gino for what he did, which I don't approve of, I don't even drink. All right, so I don't approve of people driving and putting other people in danger when they're drinking. So I don't want you to think I'm condoning what he did. I don't. We're disappointed in it. But we're also here to help our players. And we're going to try to help Gino every way that we can. And, you know, we have a lot of good people who have helped people in the past, and hopefully, you know, we'll be able to help Gino.
One more, Alex.
Was there any, you said he underwent psychological counseling, Jonathan Taylor, but did he specifically domestic violence counseling? Because there's a difference between that and anger management and other things.
Yeah, we did all those things with him here. There was a set program. He did them all, and he completed them, and he still was in those programs, and it didn't work.